All right, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahushai. We're going to give all praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Makar, HaKadosh. We give double honors to our apostle elders, which apostle elders that rule a great millstone. To you for brothers on the four corners of the planet Earth, keep pushing, keep enduring. We're at the time of the end. Things are heating up. So this is another World War III update because things is moving day by day on these news stories, man. So I just wanted to jump in and bring out a couple articles I've seen this morning to give brothers updates and to get them right and to see, man, we almost there. You know, all the things that the Lord promised that He'd do for us, He's doing, man. You know, and it's a beautiful thing that we've been able to see this in these last days. All right, that's why it says many great men have wanted to see what you see. I'm gonna pull that real quick. That's a good one to start. This is Matthew 13 and 17, and it says, "For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see." So it's a blessing to be where we're at now, man. You got the prophets that have been before that have prophesied, great men of the men of the Lord prophesied these things, and they didn't get to see them in their lifetime, but they back now seeing them in the reincarnation, man. You know, in the spiritual world looking down and watching these things, but this is the time that we've been waiting for, man. The coming of the kingdom of heaven, man, which has been waiting for a long time, since the beginning. It was all written and ready to go, but it had to play itself out. All right? And it says, "For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them." What is that? The breakdowns. Okay? Because they heard their truth because they spoke it. But hearing, that's why hearing it and hearing the full breakdown and the understanding, that's what they desired for. Even when they got a breakdown, they didn't understand it fully. Now we're here now, we're understanding it fully and seeing it fully. All right, so I'm going to go play some of these news stories. The first one I have, it says, World War III alert. Hold on, let me get this one. This is out of expressco.uk. Russia pleads with U.S. to refrain from military action in Syria in hope to avoid World War III. So it's at the point Russia's saying, look, man, if you strike, because I was saying this, that there's all types of Russian personnel scattered through Russia. So if Trump gets to launching off missiles lackadaisically anywhere in Syria, he has a high risk of killing Russian soldiers. And Russia's not going to take this lying down, man. Okay? So these are the times that we're in. It says, Russia pleads with the U.S. to refrain from military action in Syria in hope to avoid World War III. Russian UN Ambassador Vasyl Nebenzia has pleaded with the United States to refrain from any military action, and it might prepare against Syria over the alleged chemical weapons attack. And just like the so-called chemical attack that happened in UK, they didn't wait for the evidence to come out. They jumped the gun prematurely, and they found out that chemical probably didn't even come from Russia. If it did, it was from a stolen stockpile. It says, Mr. Nebenzia told U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley, the threats you are puffering that you're starting vis-a-vis Syria should make us seriously worried, all of us, because we could find ourselves in the we could find ourselves in the threshold of some very sad and serious events. I would once again beseech you to refrain from the plans that you are currently developing for Syria. His comments came after the council failed to approve the third draft resolution on chemical weapons attacks in Syria. Former Russian leader Mikhail Gorbachev has urged Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump to stage direct negotiations and warned an incident clash could lead to open warfare. So we at the door, man. It says the situation has been it says the situation hasn't been this bad in a long time, and I am very disappointed in how world leaders are behaving themselves. We see evidence of an habit to use diplomatic mechanisms. International policies have turned into exchange of accusations, sanctions, and even military strikes. Fox News senior national security analyst Walid Phrase has warned Russia will respond if U.S. hits back at Syria, but Washington should not get to a point of direct confrontation. Mr. Ferris told Fox News, the Russians are today stronger in Syria than they were in years ago. And let me play that video real quick. Because, man, this is beautiful times we living in, man. Barakathiyahu was shot. Beautiful times. Let me reload this page real quick. Get excited, man. We're getting close to going home. This will be exciting news for Akim, man. Exciting news.
Well, look, Neil, the Russians are today stronger in Syria than they were a year ago and certainly 6 years ago. So what they're trying to say to message us and our partners is that there will be a response. It may be directly by the Russians, or as they do usually, task the Iranians to do it. It could be in Syria, it could be other places. But for us, for the United States, it's very important that we begin with the right thing to do, asking the intelligence community to have a detailed report, analysis, assessment of these chemical attacks so that we can take it to the Security Council and then confront the world and tell them it did happen. And I'm sure, Neil, as you know, and you can expect that the Russians are going to have a veto. Once you have that veto from the Russians, then you have the legitimacy to form this international coalition and start having U.S.-led strategies.
Would the Russians respond militarily if we entered there militarily? In other words, last year, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Wally, we in fact gave the Russians a heads up that we were about to do this. This year, maybe we're doing the same thing if we come to that, but maybe not. What do you think?
We may do, we may not. We may do if they are too close. We don't want to engage the Russian directly because by the norms of engagement, the rule of engagement of any nation that has military, if you attack their military, they're gonna respond. If you attack their allies, the Syrian regime or the Iranians or Hezbollah, what they may do is ask their allies to attack our allies. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios. I'm sure the National Security Council now in the U.S. and our allies' war rooms are focusing on what can be done without getting to a point of ultimate confrontation between the U.S. and Russia, which should...
But the Most High wants this confrontation to happen, man. All right? And the article says World War III alert. There will be a response, Russia to strike back if U.S. hits Syria. So these things is at the door, man. Okay? While dudes is out here playing and talking about, oh, this person is this person, and they ain't even concentrating on the prophecies, man. You know, like the apostle said, man, go live your life. If you don't live life, but do the work right, man. Let me play this other video real quick, and I'm gonna get into some scriptures.
Who is responsible for these attacks has no conscience, not even to be shocked by pictures of dead children. The Russian regime, whose hands are all covered in the blood of Syrian children, cannot be ashamed by pictures of its victims. We've tried that before. We must not overlook Russia and Iran's roles in enabling the Assad regime's murderous destruction. Russia and Iran have military advisors at Assad's airfields and operation centers. Russian officials are on the ground helping direct the regime's Starve and Surrender campaign, and Iranian allied forces do much of the dirty work. When the Syrian military pummels civilians, they rely on the military hardware given by Russia. Russia could stop this senseless slaughter if it wanted. But it stands with the Assad regime. And so
hey man, they looking like they looking like, man, well, this lady just be quiet, man. You know, these are times we living in where the skirt is just being lifted up. lifted right up. And the shame is being seen, man. They ain't looking at U.S. with that admiration no more. Let me get these scriptures real quick. I mean, these are scriptures we already know. I've read many times, but they're in play. You know, these scriptures are coming to pass, man. We're living in the fulfillment. That's why Apostle R put what? The year of prophecy. You seeing it now. You're seeing it, man. This is Matthew 24 and 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right? And because we waiting on what? The elect. Because this chip got to come into play, and then that war. Okay? So it's going to come in order. Let me jump to here real quick. This is the book of Proverbs 21 and 15. Proverbs 21 and 15, it says, it is joy to the just to do judgment, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. And Esau is a worker of iniquity, so that's why his society is going to go down in such a magnificent destruction that the Lord is going to bring to pass. All right? Because these things are leading up. We're going to see it. This is Joel 3 and verse 9. And it says, proclaim ye among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And that's what he says. He said, Russia is as strong as they were back 6 years ago. And then you got these other nations like China that's got the weaponry all the way up. All right, that's why right here you have says China urges calm over Syria as Trump warns missile launch in hours amid World War III fears. So China has warned against military intervention in Syria and has urged countries not to jump to the conclusion over the alleged chemical attack in Dama after U.S. President Trump said missiles could be launched within hours. As tensions continue to escalate around the region, it has to be reported. So we at that time, man. So I just wanted to give a quick update, and I want to give all praise unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Prophet Yahweh, Prophet Yahushai, Bashim Rakar Hakwadash, man. This truth is beautiful, and hey, I can keep faith. We're almost there. We're almost at the threshold of this thing. Got a couple more things to go through, and the Lord's coming back, man. Yahushua is coming to take us, man. Shalom, I can keep faith. Ariella. Let me